What's going on, everybody? It's Nate coming back at you with another Melton update. The early bird gets the worm. What does that mean? Well, it's pretty obvious what it means. We all use that phrase. It's going to seem like I'm going off on a tangent in this video, but bear with me. It'll all come back full circle. First of all, before I get into it, I just want to say that I am really feeling energized. I'm really liking this over-the-road business, and I'm having a good time. I really am. This is my third week, and on my own, and things are really starting to come together. I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the day-to-day activities, and I'm just feeling good. It was a good day today. All right. I want to be careful how I say this. I don't want to come off like I'm bragging. So please don't take it that way. It's not how it's meant. But I want to draw some correlations with my experience going forward as a new truck driver and my thoughts. Correlations between truck driving and hunting, and it's life, it's life lessons in general that I've learned. Some of you may be surprised to hear that I haven't been a hunter or a fisherman my whole life. I mean, I was a fisherman when I was a kid, just brook trout fishing, but when it comes to ice fishing and bass fishing, tournament ice fishing, tournament competitive fishing, and deer hunting and turkey hunting, that all came later in life. So I don't have experience like a lot of people do in those things. This is where I want to be careful. I don't want to brag. But the fact is, I got into ice fishing less than 10 years ago. In a brief period of time, I was able to fish competitively with and against some of the best ice anglers in the country. And, I won a championship, and I went out and fished in the national championship. I didn't win out there, but I was able to hold my own. Now, I didn't do that because I have years and years of experience and I'm a great fisherman. Same thing with hunting, and it's not a competitive thing, but I do all right, especially for somebody that has very limited experience. I don't get deer because I have years and years and years and years of experience under my belt, like some of these guys. So how did I do that? It's not from pure talent. It's not from years and years of experience. I'm going to tell you how I did it. I did it by working my butt off. And that's the way it's been my whole life. I go back all the way back to college. I tried out for the college basketball team, and I made the team. I defied the odds. I've never been blessed with an athletic body, and just never been just naturally great at things. I've always had to work harder than most people to achieve, an above average level of, success. So going back to college, and then later, more recently to hunting and fishing, I didn't find success by just being, a natural talent. I had to work. And this is now coming back to the early bird gets the worm. My mentality with hunting and fishing, whether I'm fishing competitively or just going out just for fun, one of the keys to my success has always been getting there early. Getting to the parking spot before anybody else. When it's hunting, getting there before anyone else, getting up in the woods, getting on my tree stand in the dark, and and I'm already up there when other hunters are just showing up, just walking up. Same thing with fishing. You get there, I get there, the first one to the parking spot, the last one to leave. That's nothing to do with talent. That's nothing to do with I'm great. That's just a mentality that if you're gonna succeed, you've got to work your butt off, and it starts with getting up early in the morning and getting your butt to the spot before anyone else. Okay, now let's bring it around full circle to truck driving. I'm applying those principles to my new career driving this truck. By the way, I like this truck. I really do. It really feels like home to me now. I'm really enjoying it. So with Melton, my new career, 3 weeks in, I don't have experience to lean on. Most of these truckers out here, I mean, I don't know, but a lot of them have been driving for 20, 30 years, their whole life. And I don't have that. And there's no replacement for experience, but I am going to apply the same mindset to truck driving as I do to hunting and fishing and everything else in life. And that is, I'm going to try to make up for my lack of experience by working my butt off. And this is where it came into play this morning. Now, last night, I'm in a really good mood, and you'll know why in a second. I had a load that I had to deliver, and the original appointment time was 8 a.m. this morning. And yesterday, I started looking at my clock and how many miles I had, and I said, I can shut down in Tennessee this afternoon, which was yesterday, and then I can get up early, and I can be there earlier than 8 o'clock. So I called the receiver, and I said, hi, this is Nate from Melton. We got a load coming. How early, when do you start receiving? He said 6:30. I said 6:30, perfect. I'll see you tomorrow. So I got up at 3 o'clock this morning. I'm not a morning person, but when I have a drive to do something, I can do it, whether it's hunting, fishing, and now driving this truck. So I got up at 3. And I was just thinking, this came into my mind this morning as I'm driving. I said, I could have just showed up at 8 o'clock, but I want to get there before 6:30 because I want to be the first guy there, because I can just envision that there's going to be a stream. Like, I watch the truck stops, and I like to be early because they come in, and then later and later they start streaming in. Now, that's not necessarily by choice, but I wanted to be the first one there. I rolled in at 6 a.m. No trucks were there. I pulled up to the guard shack. I went in. I says, I'm early. He said, yep, good. Sit right there. I'll flash the light when I get the okay at 6:30. Sure enough, 6:30 he flashed. I went in there. First one in line. The early bird gets the worm. Now, the reason why I was doing this today is Thursday. Now, I've had a couple of short loads this week with a lot of work involved, but I didn't get any long runs. And I says, I really want to get a long weekend run. And if I hustle and get unloaded early enough, maybe I can get a load out of this area today. That was my mindset. Well, it started out good because I got there early. They had me in at 6:30. I pulled around. He told me where to go. He said, you're going to go in door 22. I went up there. The door was open. I backed in. I like backing. I'm not a pro. I'm not. I'm at the truck stop right now, and I just did 3 pull-ups to get it perfect in here. I'm not afraid to pull up because I want to have it nice and perfectly straight and even on both sides. And I don't always get it that way first time, but I enjoy it. I really like backing. Anyway, so I backed into the building, and I did a good job. I was pretty proud of myself, and nice and straight and everything in there. And then some guy shut down. I was getting out. Some guy comes over and goes, you can't back in here without a spotter. I said, whoops, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I got everything, all the tarps off. I was slower early this week, but each time I do it, I get a little faster. So I was very efficient, and I got unloaded. Because I got there so early, by the time I got unloaded, they did a good job. It was an easy offload. So as soon as I was unloaded, I sent in my empty call. I'm wondering, am I going to get another load? Well, I drove to this truck stop, which was only 5 minutes away, parked. I was going to do laundry, but I was trying to call my driver manager, to find out what the plan was, if there was anything on the horizon, because I don't want to start a load of laundry and then get a load assignment and, have laundry in the middle, it takes a couple hours to do it. Well, I was on the phone ringing, waiting for someone to pick up when it came through. You just received a message. I clicked on it. Load assignment. Picking up. I had to run up from here, a little ways north, up to Roanoke. Picking up, delivering to Southern California. Yes! Oh, I was so excited. It's going to give me a record week. It's not hard to make record weeks when you're in your third week. But I was getting kind of down after the first week and second week because I'd done 2 resets. Just wasn't getting the miles that I was hoping. The first week, I didn't even make the minimum. I got paid the minimum pay because I'm on guaranteed pay right now, but I didn't run enough miles to go over it. Last week I did, but it still was just barely. I think I ran 1,700 miles last week. So far this week, I have 1,000 miles. A little over 1,000, and this load delivers Monday, and it's like 2,400 and change. So that's going to put me at 3,400, over 3,400 for the week. Now I shouldn't even say that because I still got to run for 4 days, but barring any major catastrophes or tire blowouts. By the way, my time is going to be nip and tuck on this load. I'm looking at my hours of service, and I can do it. I was concerned. I was thinking it through in my head as I was driving up to pick up the load, and I knew it was going to be close. And I knew it all hinged on the shipper and how long it took me to get loaded and how long it took me to secure the load. Well, I got there. I walked in, I was sweet as pie. I talked to the woman. I said, I just got this load. I'm super excited. It goes to Cali, but it's tight. I'm tight on time. I said, I'm hoping that you guys aren't backed up loading. And they jumped right on it. She said, back into here. It was outside, and it was a quick load, and it was an easy, only 2 tarps, and I was more efficient. I'm getting better at securing, and I got her done. I pulled into this truck stop with 30 minutes left on my 14-hour clock, and it worked out perfectly. Now I can go in and do laundry. I just did the math, and I'm looking at if I'm going to run 600 miles the next 2 days, then the last 2 days, say the third day I run 550, then the last day it should be like 479. So I'm confident I can do it. It's going to give me a record week and a really good paycheck. By the way, the paychecks are looking good. The one I got last week, even though it was only 1,700 miles, I think it might. Well, I don't know if it's the biggest paycheck I've ever got, because when I was landscaping, I had some weeks when I worked a super lot of hours. But definitely in the last 11 years, it's the biggest paycheck I've gotten for 1 week, by far. So it's feeling good. Again, there's no substitute for experience, and I'm not cocky. I'm not out here trying to say I'm a super trucker. That's not the point. The point is I'm a newbie. I'm just a kid out here, but I'm striving for success, and I'm starting to feel like it's going to happen. What is success? Well, 1, driving and miles safely, and 2 is driving a lot of miles and getting a good paycheck. What else is there? I guess delivering on time, obviously securing, but if you want to really boil it down to really the basics, it's driving safely, not keeping your CSA score perfect, and making a lot of money. And I think working hard is the key to the money part of it. Because if I was lazy this morning and I decided to sleep for another couple hours and just, the appointment was 8 o'clock. I don't need to go at 6. I mean, the company, they're the ones that said 8. So I could go at 8. They're not going to be upset with me, But if I had done that, I do not believe I would have gotten this load to California. I don't believe it. And it doesn't always work out that way, because I've been hustling for 2 weeks and it just, the stars weren't aligned. Things were just happening. I was getting short load after short load after short load, and I was spending so much time securing loads and unsecuring loads that it wasn't leaving me enough time, and then it just wasn't working out. But all of a sudden now the stars have aligned. This is going to be a great week. All right, I've rambled enough, but I think I brought it back full circle. Do you get my point? If you want to have success in anything in life, the early bird gets the worm. Get out of bed, get up early, and get to work. Amazing things will happen. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching.